regular season. You just played your last game here at Sanford Stadium. What are the emotions right now for you?
Well, I'm a little bit upset how we played, how I played. Y'all aren't going to get very much sentiment from me today. So.
What's got you most kind of tripped up or disappointed?
I don't think we played very well, and me especially. Obviously, going to have to go back and look at it. But first half we scored 10 points, and we got to do a better job in the red area. And just overall, Tech came out and they played a good game. They're a good team. They're hot since North Carolina win. But there's just some things that I think we can do better.
Do you think that was an execution or an effort thing? Like, what do you?
That's hard to say. I just know that some points we didn't get the job done, and that's hard to say until we watch the tape.
Noon kicks don't seem to be your best friends for the team. Do you think maybe it's early start? Something like that?
No, I really don't know. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Why? We just didn't really. It felt like. We scored 37 points, but weren't really clicking. I don't think.
What do you remember the most about just the senior class?
We got some good dudes, man. Play hard, go out, execute. We practice hard. You don't see how we practice, and I don't practice that hard, right? I don't have to hit, but we have team run Tuesday, Wednesday. We're full pads almost every single day, and those guys are out there getting it. That's why when you hear George say something like, practice here was harder than there. It is. We play football every single day, and there's not much complaining. We go out there and we just get it done. And I said that I wasn't really happy with how we started today, but still scored 37, and they only scored 14 on that trick play on fourth down. They scored a touchdown on the first drive, and then defense played awesome. And we started getting hot in the second half.
How's it feel, though, as a senior? Twice now you've beat Tech. You run the state. Andrew had the sign. That's got to feel good, right? Compared to, 5, 6 years ago, you never thought that would even be a possibility.
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought it might be. That's why I stayed.
Stetson, y'all were able to pull away in that second half, though. What did you see from Kenny on that big 83-yard play?
Yeah, Kenny's special with the ball in his hand, and I saw the safety. He got on the defensive end, and the safety came down a little bit too far, just threw it over his head, and then he kept going and got horse collared. But he's a weapon out of the backfield, and all of our backs. I can't remember how many yards we had, but we ran the ball really well today.
Offensively, do you feel like it's a rhythm thing, or do you feel like it's just hit a big play and that kind of sets things on track?
Rhythm always helps, but I don't know why. There are a few penalties, a few decisions on my part that kind of slowed us down. That can't happen, but overall, we start hitting them more when there is more momentum. But I don't know.
Is it necessarily something that you're kind of concerned as you enter this stretch that you guys can get it on track and be able to? No, that's not what I'm not worried about. Can we? I'm worried about let's go do it. Like that. That's all it is.
Stetson, you talked about Kenny. How much? What has been so good about him over the past month? It seems like since that fumble against Florida, he's been on.
Yeah, he's ran angry. He's ran angry. Even after that fumble in the game, he started getting pissed off, started running like it, and he's a different back when he does that. And try to convey to him, try to let him know during the week, like, hey man, they can't tackle you if you don't want them to. And I think he's done a really good job about that.
For you personally, I'm sure you've been asked this already, but what are the emotions of a day like today for you with your story? You're running out, you got the little white ball in your hand and everything. What's the emotions of that jog out to the field?
I'm not a real big fan of senior day, honestly.
Is it hard to play on senior day?
Yeah, it is. It is hard to play. I had to freaking do it twice now.
I felt like it was a what up 6'3", 2. Maybe that was a bit of it. Even for me, trying to not let it be a deal, almost making it a deal, right? I don't know. It kind of takes the focus off of we're playing Georgia Tech in a rivalry game at home. They're trying to mess up our season. They're trying to get to a bowl game, and I'm out there jogging with a white ball, right? I get it, but it kind of upset me towards the start.
12-0 in back-to-back seasons to start the year. Does that have any significance to you in this team, or you guys know it's the next game that defines us or what we have to do?
Yeah, I mean it is special. We know it's cool, and we work for it. The coaches work for it, players work for it, but that's not. We didn't come into this season trying to go 12-0. We tried to go 15-0, and we got another step ahead of us next week in Atlanta against a really good football team in LSU. But it is special. We know it's cool, and we're proud of it because we worked hard for it, right? It didn't just happen.
How much of LSU have you already seen? Harold Perkins, you've seen weekends?
I haven't really watched it.
Is there any, people say, well, Georgia sometimes plays down to opponents this year, but then kind of comes back. Do y'all look at it sometimes that way, or do y'all just say last year's standard, the standard y'all created the first 3 games this year was kind of always going to be impossible to replicate every week?
I don't think we get that deep into it. I think sometimes we know what up 6. I think it did take us a little while to get going today. I don't know if that was because of senior day or because we didn't think Tech was as good as us. But they came out hot, they scored touchdowns and stopped us right there, and kind of gave us a little, all right, well, these guys are good. And when you watch the tape, they're good. But I don't think we think about it that way.
I mean, the narrative obviously is that it's either Georgia is playing with fire and at some point is going to get with them, or they're a team that just turns it on when they have to.
Right. Yeah, and when you look at our games, it's kind of warranted, somewhat. I think the games that it is warranted are probably talked about a little bit more than the ones that aren't. So, but that is the goal, to not have that happen. And from here on out, we can't. Otherwise, we'll lose. So.
A couple of your teammates out there said you're the definition of hard work, what this program is about. I'm sure you don't look at yourself that way, but what does that mean to you when you hear that from the guys that you're actually playing and practicing with?
Well, it makes me feel good because that's what, for me, all I did was the only thing that made sense. If you want to do something, then you got to do it. But it means a lot because I know how hard those dudes work, and I know what they put in every single day, and what they bring to this team, and the leadership and mentality, and just football players, man. They're just football players. And so when you hear football players say stuff like that about you, it feels good.
Okay, thank you all. Coach Smart starting right now.